Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So, Mega Evolutions coming out this Friday. I hope you guys are ready for it. I know I'm ready. Just a small thing. Went to a pre-release last weekend. Actually, this past weekend. Was a lot of fun. Was a midnight Monday, midnight Sunday. I'm sorry, midnight Saturday. Uh, at my local Dragon Slayer. It's one of the ones I like to go to. It's just awesome. Got to see the new decks, got to see some of the new cards, some of the new megas. It's been very interesting. I can definitely see a change in the meta, a shift with some of these. Some of my games were very interesting. You can see them in a bit. But overall, yeah, it was very fun, very exciting. So if you're a fan of the TCG game, I definitely stick around and just get an idea of what happened, what things to expect. And at the same time, if you just look at the packs towards the end, I will be opening my prize packs or the rest of the packs that I got. So for sure, definitely stick around. But hope you have a great time and let's do this. Hey guys, day one was pretty fun. It was an interesting games, interesting setups. For my pack, my deck, I got the Magninium for grass. Teammate had the water one. There was also some fighting and psychic and rock, but not bad. Overall, for my packs, I mean, I pulled some decent stuff. I got the Mega Snow, Mega Boss Snow, Snow, Bomba Snow EX you saw earlier. I got the Steelix Full Art, so pretty good. I can't complain with my fulls. Um, as far as the deck itself, it's pretty straightforward. It was all based around, I guess, three cards. One of them being the Meganium, the Celebi, and then the Fatality Forest. And essentially, the whole thing is that Meganium will allow, with its ability, for every grass to count as another one, and then you'd have Meganium itself be super easy to get because Celebi allows you to get cards and Stadium, and then the Stadium you want is Vitality Energy because Vitality Energy, if I'm correct, allows you to buy kind of like evolve turn one. Well, after turn one, so like you can go straight from like with Chikorita, you go to Bayleaf, Meganium in one turn. So pretty good. So game one was a Meganium versus Meganium deck. Here it was just getting the flow of things, getting things going, getting set up. The main key things that I got from this match after playing against a co-man here is that Executor was pretty much the damaged one for this. Like, I know Meganium itself has the ability to use Solar Beam, which is 4 cards for 140, which is very powerful, and especially with ability because you go from 4 to 2, essentially, because each one counts as 2. But compared to Executor, it does much more. Because Executor, its second attack, it requires like 3 of any kind. But it being grass, if you manage to get 3 on it, like stacked up, that gives it a total damage of 160. Which for this format, without any EXs in my deck, it is pretty much game over. The Meganium itself is one of the highest ones here, with the Executor right after. So it just kind of wipes out my team. So once he got it going, it was one after the other, I think I had a moment where I kind of came back or I did something, but it just wasn't enough. And with it being 4 prize cards, it was just so much easier. But overall, that was a good thing to learn. It was a good thing to get to mess with the deck. And that's where I started getting inspiration for other things because you get to see the setup. Like, Celebi was able to just set up things for me and him in some of these games where you grab the cards that you need, you grab your Stadium and play, and you get the evolutions going. It's just so much easier. But it was a fun game. Unfortunately, I didn't win. But that's how it went. So for sure, Executor was a pretty fun card. I can see this being something else. Just I can see the decks maybe in connection with the new Mega Blastoise that we're supposed to be getting, especially with its ability itself is to move energy from one to another. So I see myself looking at other grass Pokemon out there and seeing how it can be used. So for sure, like I said, was a pretty interesting run. But game two actually had a nice spin. So let's go to that one. So this second match was another Meganium, but I didn't make it. My opponent pretty much had a strong setup similar to mine. I had Celebi as far as my draw, so I thought I was going to be able to get things going, but he ended up pulling up with a much better card, and he had a Repel, and it's basically, I guess, another version of Boss Orders. You can see it on screen. But that caused me to bring out Delmis, and from there, it just kind of went down. He got things going, he got things set up, he was able to pull Stadium. So I really couldn't compete with after that, which is fine. But during this match, he told me how he had managed to get a Cinderace going, his previous match. And if you see on screen, you'll see it like it worked out, especially for this format. He was a competitive player, way more than I am, as you can see by his mat. But yeah, so overall things worked out really well for him. And the only other note for me is that I got to see the Lily's Determination and play more. And it's basically, in my opinion, a better Iono's. Because the Iono is sometimes great, but it just works when you have other people. So, like, if your teammate has less cards, you're giving him a bonus. I feel like Iono is more of it has a bigger trade-off in this. It's really good against like things like a Gotengo deck when I've done TCG online because it's helped. But as far as this format, I thought it was great. I actually look forward to adding this one versus Iono because I have certain decks where I'm running like Marnie's where I could see this being super useful. But yeah, just wasn't in it for me. Wasn't a great one for me. Unfortunately, I didn't win. Once he got Executor running, it just a steamroll. And like I said, it does a total of 160. And with Meganium even being the highest, he pretty much was winning after that. Like, it was game over. So, but overall, it was very fun. Game 3 was a change-up. It was my first time playing against a different deck. You'll see it right now. So, let's up to it. Hey guys, so game 3 was a little interesting. It was against a good friend of mine called Joaquin. He's one of the first people I met when I started going to these events back since journey together, and he has just been overall a great person. And so I got to play against him. For him though, it was fun seeing the Lunatone deck because that's where I really got to see the whole thing with like Lunatone and like Solrock and its abilities, and I got to see the thing with Carnuckle. But before we get to that, I knew that I had an advantage because even though some of these are fighting like they're weak against grass, but he had the Tyro that he pulled out first one, and when I saw it, I understood why he put it. He's very like good about doing this and adding cards like this that he finds. And the card, yeah, I'll be honest, it's a little powerful if played right because if you get lucky, god dang, can it steamroll? Like, I can see this being just an interesting card to have. And it has, like, no energy cost. So, you can just throw that in there. Now, as for me, yeah, as you can see in the video, he took out my Celebi. I managed to get a setup going, but it just wasn't enough because in the back, he was already getting his Garnuckle going. And, well, once he brought it out, because when I finally was able to take out the Taro, it was pretty much game over because due to the way the card is and its abilities, it does 130 base when you have the energies attached, and not just that, but its own ability empowers it, so it adds another extra 30 on top. So we're kind of back to that square one where, as far as my deck, the strongest is Meganium at 160, and he can do 160. So, yeah, that pretty much ended my series run. So day 1 was just a straight 0-3. I did not win any games, unfortunately, but I learned a lot of things, and I had a blast. So, like I said, there's a lot of big changes in the meta coming, and you see it through these decks, and you see the potential. And I guess I'll show you guys that potential in some of my next games, because day 2 was way more fun for me and a lot more interesting, and I was able to do so much more. Okay, so day 2 was a bit of change up. The deck I got this time around was the Lunatone deck. So it's the one that I saw yesterday. It's less fighting. As far as my pulls, there was a specific one. I did get Mega Lucario EX, so I definitely had to put that one in my deck. I also ended up pulling the Mega Abomasnow again, so that was interesting. But as far as the deck, like I said, yesterday I lost to this deck my friend Joaquin had. That was the last deck I got. So I was very much looking forward to using it. And with Mega Lucario being fighting, definitely wanted to get him in play. Now, the only thing is I didn't have a Riolu. Unfortunately, I just didn't pull one. But luckily, one of the guys next to me had one, and when he saw it, he lent it to me. He pretty much gave it to me. Normally, it's one of those things they don't want you to do, but that's also part of the pre-release fun. Like, the person to my right had gotten the Mega Latios, so they were playing that, they were getting that. And that's kind of brings fun into this, being able to pull these cards, being able to do these things. So he was like, "Go for it, enjoy yourself," and I was like, "Thanks, man." And I did. I managed to get it in. And so with my deck, my build, the only thing I did was make sure to include the Mega Lucario. I included I think it was Stone Edge, and the Wally, or Will, sorry, Willie, I forgot his name. Well, with the Pokemon Center Healy lady, because she brings a heal, you should be seeing the screen. And well, yeah, Wally's Compassion, sorry. That was the right card. So I made sure to add those two cards to my deck along with Mega Lucario and Stone Edge, which you should have seen up in the screen. So that was the only real change I made. I took out the Makuhita and Hariyama, but it was fun. And you'll see my first game. So let's get to it. Okay, so game one did go a little interesting. Me and my teammate, teammate, me and the other person, we mulliganed a few times. So we went through a couple of shuffles each. I think like 2-2. So it took us a bit to get going, but once we did, it was pretty straightforward. He had the Magnum deck. I had the Lunatone, obviously, so I already had that. But as you saw, I pretty much drawed Mega Lucario on the first hand, so I was good to go. I was primed and ready to play him. So I was pretty much just chilling and waiting for setup. It did take me a bit to get there. There was a bit back and forth. The only other thing is I did get to set up Stoner, did a couple of things, but once I got Mega Lucario going, it was pretty strong. And I'll put Mega Lucario on screen real quick just so you can see why, because one of the big things about him in this set, and why I think it's very good, is that his base attack is 1 fighting energy. But that is enough to attach cards from my discard pile to my bench Pokemon. And in this set, we're just getting Lunatone and Solrock. So because with Lunatone, and then shoot him up, you can discard and draw. And by doing so, I could keep things going, get energy moving, and get things set up. It allowed for perpetual discard and back, which reminded me of the current I think Reshiram EX deck that's in Pokemon TCG Live with Waymos or Tynamos that you basically just get energy back. So it was a pretty good one, and for the amount of energy that you discard doing that, it's worth it, because at the same time, I didn't know this at first while we were fighting. Once I got things going, right there as you can see, I was explaining to him the vitality of how it works, because I played yesterday. He was new, and I mean, this is what we do. We got to push it for the community. I got that people know. I was lucky when I was playing this game that people taught me, and so I was letting him know too. But yeah, that was a thing. And with the setup that I've going, things were pretty smooth for me. And sorry, like I mentioned, once I got Garnolko later on, it just powered up 30. So I made a mistake of not noticing that right away, because that means I could have discarded a lot of his Pokemon faster. But it wasn't that big of a deal. It's one of those post game things that it doesn't matter. It was just fun. It was fun putting Mega Lucario out there. And I even told my teammate, I'm like, hey, I know it's crazy, but even in this format, if you get things going, this is 3 prize cards. The game is 4. You knock Lucario out, I'm pretty much done for, because I don't think I can stop you. But it's just fun. It's good fun. He enjoyed it too. And like I said, this is one of those things where I'm looking forward to seeing more people put in their decks, because the setup is very good. It allows for really good synergy. Definitely might need a couple more EXs, more cards. And even then, it's my hands. I had the Wallies ready in Pokemon Center Lady. Just in case he would get hurt, I could heal him back up. So, again, it's a lot of fun. I won my first game. It got things going, got things pulling. So, on to game 2. So, game 2, guys, to be completely honest with you, was probably, I think, on the much shorter end. Much shorter than my first one. But not for the reasons that I would think and you would think. So the enemy, or my fellow competitor, had a Lunatone deck as well, but he made a change in his. He definitely swapped cards out, and everything. And if you can see a little bit in the corner, he had Latias EX. So his whole thing was doing a Mega Latias. So he got that setup going and everything, sort of, as far as his deck to be able to do that. And I got something similar in my turn, where I was sort of able to set up pretty soon to get Mega Lucario EX, as you saw. So I was set to go, but during that, I did a price check and I realized I didn't have Yolu. So what I ended up doing is I basically ended up getting Lunatone to attack. A little bit down right now, you'll see I attach a second energy. and I had played a field that basically allows Pokemon that are basic to get extra health. And that was kind of it, to be honest with you guys. That was the entire game for him and me. I was winning, but because I kept trying to draw price cards, he didn't really have any like energy. I don't know what happened. The energy that he did have just wasn't fighting, so he couldn't do much. So it became a just going around in circles. Um, like there, I had used the boss order to swap it out to get Latios to try to knock it out because you see he has psych energy. He just didn't have fighting. So a lot of the things he was doing, he couldn't do anything, and it really, like I said, boiled down to us going back and forth, me drawing price cards, and for me the mistake was my Riolu was my price card, as in the last one that I picked. So as you saw on my left, I had 1, 2, 3, 4. The one at the very end, the first one, that was Riolu. I just didn't realize it, so I was taking a gamble, and all my gambles were wrong. But yeah, that was pretty much it. This was one of those more just slow burner games. Just me attacking with Power Gem for 50, like multiple times. Actually, a little bit more because I think I had Garnocle. Oh yeah, I did have Garnocle in the bottom, so I did plus 30, so for 80. But that was it. Like there really wasn't much going, guys. But hey, I was excited. You know, he was trying to get megas going. I was trying to get mega going, and that's part of the fun. You know. But yeah, so let's go see on the game three. Game three was a bit of a fun one. You'll see. So let's do it. Hey guys, so game three will probably be the most interesting one out of all of them. It was probably my shortest game. Sorry I don't have much footage, but really I missed the recording in the beginning. But as far as how the gameplay actually went, I got Stormjourn up, did some attack, but in the back he managed to get uh, Mega Absol up. And well, once he got Mega Absol, even with my setup, I had Riolu, I had a Cardinal Coco and everything. There wasn't much I could do. It it's a very strong card. Its attack, which I think is 2 darkness, you've seen the screen, it just does way too much damage. Its 1 energy is if I have 6 damage counters, it knocks me out instantly. But it's 3 energy. Sorry, it does 200. And like I said, in this format, not much I can do. But what really hurts, it's the on the attack effect. So he gets to see my hand and discard a card. So any comeback or anything I can do, because he can kind of get an idea, he can see it and he can get rid of it, which is kind of what he was doing. So I just couldn't get any momentum up, and that was pretty much it. You know, he just went 4 attacks and we were done. Like there wasn't anything he could do. So it was probably my shortest game. I was a little disappointed in that I was hoping to get in a win, so I get a 3-0 because I got 0-3 yesterday, but not bad. These are the packs for Prerelease. Let's open them up and get to it. Let's see what we got. Mega Evolution. This is a new code card. Yeah, let's do this. Well, we pulled the gold one. uh, oh, Progunk, Blink, Snowbird, Delibird, Mega Signal. I saw this one. Someone had this in their Latias EX. Shedinja, Inteleon. Ooh, Ivysaur. Hollow. Not a big fan of these new hollows. Power Pro. Ooh, this one would have been good to go. And Hariyama. Mega Kangaskhan. Let's see if we get the other one. Stelius, Kogan, Delibird, Shuckle. They brought back this in the search. I don't know if I mentioned it. Ninetales, Niso. There's ooh, Mega. That's a nice one. Nice card. Got one hit. No, not all of them. I'll show you the other ones right now, and then you'll see me. This Toxicoke, Routes, Seedot, Stuffle, Fighting Gong, Houndstone, of course, Risky Ruins, Hollow Shuckle, and Mega EX Cover Up. 2 for 2. Okay, not bad. Your voices are recorded. There are moments where I can, yeah. Sedat, Tyroke, Snover, Baneri, Shit Ninja, Philion, String Typees, Hollow Magnemite, Hollow Stuffle, and Raikou. Okay, 2 more packs. Unfortunately, I only had 1 full art that I got so far, and it's been that Steelix. I'm hoping I get another one. I know someone pulled a gold. No, full art. Oh, it's Energy, Toxicoke, C-Dot, Routes, Stuffle. This is really good. I'm looking forward to seeing that, especially what the energy is. Iroar, Executor, Hollow Porfish, Kyogre. Last pack. Come on. Be a juiced one. Give me something good. Okay, let's do this. Basic Energy, Stuffle, Chemical, Dizopete, Nuzleaf, Spirit Bomb, Mega Signal, Celebi, Dot. Oh, Gonkunkel! Gonkunkel. This is a nice one. Look at that. Such a nice card. Honestly, not bad. I'm really happy. These 2 plus the other ones that they should. Here, actually, I have them here. I can pull them up real quick. We got our Mega Obama Snow. I haven't had the build battle decks ready. Oh, overall, not bad. Not as many full arts as I was expecting, or as I would have hoped, but I'm very happy with what I got. So, releases like in 2 weeks on the 26th, so hopefully that one will be good. We definitely got our Pokemon Center boxes coming, so we're gonna open those, and we're gonna see what we get there. We're gonna see the enhanced Bulbasaur, so definitely stick around, guys, and I hope you liked it, and I hope you liked the pre-release. If you guys did any pre-release, let me know how it went. I hope it went as good as it went. If you got any pulls, let me know, and I hope to see you on the next one.